So I have here iPad Mini 3. Now, iPad Mini 3 is over the top cool. Sorry. Um, and uh, just over the top cool. That's all I can say really. And here, just at first look, it's amazing looking. Just if you look here, you can even see the computer. Right. But first of all, it does come with the lightning because it's new, obviously. Blah blah blah. Camera goes opposite. I don't know why, but uh, yeah. And switch this other hand. Yeah. Um, and first of all, it does. This is a 64 GB version, and yeah, it does look beautiful in my opinion. Like, see the button is just like perfection. I mean, and not only is it just Touch ID, it looks better than just the basic square in my opinion. So see, yeah, see, and I have like all my thumbs. Okay, one second. Now I gotta work it. There you go. I usually never have try agains unless I leave my finger on there. What I can do is also right when I turn it on and I press the button, it actually will go straight on, which is nice. And but then turning it around, it looks really nice. The white bezel version with silver, and I think the white. People complain about like watching movies and the white distracts them. I really don't care. I prefer the white because I've had enough trouble with my black iPod. I've always thought it was looked weird. I prefer white. It just kind of rings. I don't know. It just looks better in general. But yeah, this thing is really cool. It runs apps very easily. Um, basically, yeah. So the speed of this thing is pretty fast. I'll admit that. Uh, it's not as fast as the iPad Air 2, but it is the second fastest and best iPad that Apple has right now. So I couldn't afford the iPad Air 2 because I mean, well, I could afford the 16 GB, but I mean, who gets 16 GB unless you just got out of jail? But uh, so this is 64 because I just love Room. I love using these for games, keynotes. I film movies a lot, and yeah. So uh, basic. We joke around. It's the iPhone 7 Plus, but so basic thing in speed works really well. Now what's new about it? I really can't say anything's new. But how the Touch ID works, give you guys a little tutorial, is it's gonna be a short review, just by the way. I'm gonna go. Here's my Touch ID and passcode. You know what? You guys can know my passcode because you probably live somewhere else, and I will be changing that anyway because my friends figured that one out. But um, so what you can actually do is on the um, so what you can do with Touch ID is you can unlock the iPad, Apple Pay, and just buy get things using the iTunes and App Store. So, how many fingerprints you can add? 5. Minimum is 5. So why don't I delete my 5th fingerprint? Yeah. And let's add, I like to just use my right middle finger a lot to open it. So what we do, we just place our finger off and on. And this process just goes really fast unless some fingers actually do not work. It's really weird and like depends on how much light you have sometimes, but usually it just doesn't work in general. Sometimes I can't read it, but all my fingers so far work. I have 3 on my right hand, and then it asks you to adjust your grip so that anywhere on your finger basically that you go, it'll be able to actually read it, which is really nice. And I think that's probably the best part of the iPad. So now it's complete, and now that I've added that fingerprint, it's going to ask me, since I want to use it for iTunes and App Store, I have to put in my password again. So yeah, yeah, and then you have the settings for the just the basic password. You can use Siri, you know. So yeah, um, brightness, so they can go real bright, in my opinion. It's real bright. And actually real dark, which, I mean, that's not really different. Thing is, apparently people said that, according to, I think it was CNET, they said that the brightness settings got worse and you couldn't see as well in the sun. I can see it better. First of all, being the white just, I think the contrast helps it. But second of all, it just works better than the iPad too. So I really think there's more upgrades than Apple actually knows. This thing has better battery life. CNET says that it was 2 hours worse. I don't understand anything about CNET when they make promises like that, because these things, I probably lose 1% every like 10 minutes, which is not too bad. I mean, it's iPod 4 anyway. Uh, this used to lose battery in like 5 minutes. I mean, in my opinion, it was so fast. But these iPad Air 2 does have the best battery, but they're both very good. So um, and people have been asking, how much is it? I've actually had some questions. Does it crash a lot? It doesn't crash with the iPhone apps. Well, sometimes, like, certain iPhone apps will crash just because it's an iPhone app. But compared to most of the older devices, and even the iPhone 5, they'll do really well. So the iPhone 5S, it works better than that. It's about the iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus 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 Plus. But yeah, and I think that's basically it. And it's just a really cool system, fast system, and how much it runs iPhone apps is better than the iPad Air 2 because the iPad's bigger. I believe that's my guess because um uh you know, so Vines, it works really well being an iPhone app. And doing these, I mean, that'll help on the iPad Air 2, but it works better, I think, because it's a smaller screen, but that's my bet. So I'd rather the iPad mini over the iPad. Because first of all, this handheld, yeah, and the iPad is huge. I mean, the iPad is more expensive, but in all, the camera's amazing. The microphone is even better. I can do lots of things. The way experience with this is great. So yeah, um, so and then what case I've been using actually is this actually it's not actually a official Survivor case like my brother has for his iPod 5. I used to have an iPod 5. Long story about that one. But yeah, there's my little sister trying to sneak in. Um, I'm stealing lots of food. You can probably hear Disney Junior in the background a little bit. I'm so sorry about that. But, so I think we're gonna bring this to a conclusion. So this is a really nice case, even though it was $10. It's not the official one because the official ones actually cover up the Touch ID, and the Touch ID was like the big thing about me buying this. So I was like, I'm gonna get a case that at least allows Touch ID. So you know, and it's a really simple application. All you have to do is you have to put the first case on, then you put this rubber thing on, which actually is very protective, and it's not exactly like it's Chinese. Well, it's not made in China. I don't, well, probably made in China. Like everything's made in China. But uh, uh, basic. And then yeah, play that. So if you're looking into a case for the iPad Mini 3, I'd really say get a Survivor, because not only is it soft with the case, it just I dropped this twice. I didn't drop it. My friend did, and it's been fine. I haven't found any marks, and yeah. So uh, and then there's a basic screen, which it seems like with Touch ID there's no screen protector. But see, you can actually use Touch ID. So all you gotta do is let's just bring the camera down here and just apply the screen. I mean, it's simple. And so I can take this out in the rain. Yesterday I was filming in the rain, which I'm going to be posting the movie I do on YouTube later, and that's part of the tech kind of stuff. Not the comedy, kind of the tech. This is kind of the tech part of stuff, you know. But anyway, yeah, it's called Cyborgs, and that's all I'll tell you. So yeah, and to bring this to conclusion, thanks for watching. Hopefully you watched the entire thing. If you did, I'm so proud of you. And yeah, and if there's any questions you have about this, I will do a Q&A video about anything else, because I know people ask questions on videos about the iPad and never get them answered because they think they're dumb questions. But I will answer any questions in a Q&A in about a month, so you got lots of time if you see this. So I don't know if I covered everything. I wasn't really like planning completely, but once again, peace out and text me. Just kidding, but yeah, beautiful thing. Let's go with the conclusion. And oh, in this case, does like everything comes with a little stand for iPad, and that's pretty useful. And yeah, so this is waterproof. I was filming out in the rain. So yeah, so again, shouldn't have said that yet, but peace out and see you next time.